So if you struggle to find your space between letter, number, and key notation system in music, I'll show you how. And by the time you finish watching this video, you will know which system to use and why. Let's dive in. When it comes to sound or music notation system in music, a lot of beginners get confused because different musicians and different groups are so adapted to different kinds of notation, and eventually a beginner might feel not so connected with a particular group. Well, I will say that no system is bad in its own right. It all depends on the context you're using it for, and that is why I'm going to show you in this video which system works in which context. So for key notation system, it means that every sound is represented by the alphabets A to E. So that means you can have A flat, B flat, and it goes on and on like that. So it means that if I want to give you a particular sound in music, I'm going to represent the sound by key or letter notation systems. So if I want to give you the letters that make up the C chord, that means I'll be telling you C, E, and G. So that means it goes on and on like that. For F, your root note will be F and followed by A and followed by C. That is how I'm going to represent that in letter notation system. And if I want to do solfa notation, of course, that comes with do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and do. That is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So in all of these three, which one should you use? Very good question. So for letter notation system, it is really good if you are really into sheet music. Everything is transcribed according to those letters, and of course you have those symbols there that determines, or let me say that explains the rest and the relationship between one note and another. So that is actually good because it helps you to easily blend in any music. Once you have the sheet with you, you can fly on and play. That is one. But the downside I say to it is that most of the time when I've seen people who are so conversant with sheet music, they are so confined to what exactly is on that sheet. It means they can't be spontaneous, they are so limited in what they can do, and most of the time they are not so good when it comes to scoring by ear, as in just listen to a particular music, jump on your keyboard and play it. They will have to see the sheet music before they can do anything. So if you imagine a scenario that you are during a worship session and the worship leader raises a song that is not on the worship set and it's not right in front of you, you know what is going to happen. You're probably going to take your hands off it because you didn't train your ear to be able to do that. That's pick a song, listen to a song and play along with it. That is the downside I say to it. Then let's come to number notation. So for number notation, I told you earlier that number notation system will make use of numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that means the first note of the key will be 1, the second one is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if you put that in relationship with solfa notation, that means your do will be 1, your re will be 2, your mi will be 3, your fa will be 4, your sol will be 5, and your la will be 6, your T will be 7, and the upper do will be 8. So that means that if I'm in a particular session and I need people to play, let's say, chord 4 for me on a particular music, if I tell them 4, you go to 4, that means I'm saying that you just play chord 4. Now, the downside I see to that is this, that it doesn't give you any sound attached to that number. So if I say 1, what sound does it make? Yes, you might not know that, okay, this is the sound that I'm going to produce. You just know that I'm going to 1. You play on 1. I want to go to 4, you play on 4. But what sound makes up that 4 chord? Kind of. So it's not really, for me, if you ask me, it's not really good for you if you're trying to be spontaneous in playing. It's not really good if you're trying to play by ear. That means you pick a song, you listen, and you're able to pick your part out of it and transcribe it, because 1 can be anything. All the keys on the music scale can have 1 to 8, 1 to 8, 1 to 8, but which sound represents 1 in key C, for example, will be different from the sound that represents 1 on key F. So in a nutshell, number notation is perfect for instrumentalists, and of course it facilitates fast chord communication among teams, among instrumentalists as well. And another thing to it is that you can easily transpose what you have on a particular key to the next key. So it means that if I'm singing on key C and I tell you that I need to move to key D, 1 Chord 1 on C will still remain chord 1 on D, but of course, the numbers that make up chord 1 will have changed. So on C, it will be probably C, E, and G, and D, when I move to D, it's going to be D and something else. So it goes on and on and on like that. So you find number notation used most of the time among choir members and the worship teams and instrumentalists. Basically, I see people who just do one. They'll raise one finger like this. They'll do two, that means they'll do four, that means they want you to go to those notations. That is about number notation. So let's go to Solfa notation system. So for Solfa notation, it is a system that employs syllables to represent sounds. So you have do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So it means that on any key you find yourself, once you have your do, you can always scale up. And according to what we know in music, it means that you have a full tone interval between do and re. Between re and mi, you have full tone interval. But between mi and fa, it is semitone interval. So that means do, re, mi, fa. Then sol, fa and sol rather will have full tone interval. Between sol and la, full tone interval. Between la and ti, another full tone interval, but between ti and do, it will be semitone interval. So that is what you have with Solfa notation. And once you have that understanding on a particular key, you can transpose it to any key that you want to play on. It's one of the things that has really helped me to transpose, should I say to transfer ideas among musical instruments. This I've been able to use to play bass guitar, to play the keyboard, and play acoustic guitar because I know the Solfa notation system. I know this is how it works, so it has never changed. So if I move from key C to key F, the Solfa notation system remains the same. If I move back to A or any other key, the Solfa notation remains the same. So if you really want to train yourself to play by ear, I mean that you want to pick a song, and be able to play to it without necessarily looking for sheet music or looking for someone to tell you this is what it is. Solfa notation is your best bet. It is the best system you can have to play by ear. It means you train your ear to the sound. It means when I say do, re, so you can always look for it. For someone like me, any song you throw at me, I convert it to Solfa notation, then I'm able to play to it. And of course, I'm able to put the harmonies together in that same kind of song. Another thing about Solfa notation is that it helps you to learn intervals, not just to memorize notes. So when I say that people use number notation, they know that for a particular song, they are doing 1, 4, 5. 1, 4, 5. They actually don't connect with the sound. So what if something happens? And another thing is that that same 1, 4, 5, if anybody brings that same chord on another music to such people, they will never be able to play it unless they are told it is 1, 4, and 5 again, or 4, 1, 5. That is the limitation with number notation because you are not going to have connection with the sound. But with Solfa notation, you are connecting with the sound, you are connecting with the interval, you are creating relationship between the sound and your ears, and of course, your mind. So with Solfa notation, it also helps you to easily transpose the sounds. It means do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. If I do that on key C, I can do it on D, I can do it on E, I can do it on F, I can do it on G, I can do it on A, I can do it on B. So the Solfa notation remains the same. Once you know the principles that form Solfa notation, that is full tone, full tone, full tone, semitone, full tone, and you just go on and on like that, you can transpose that idea. And of course, you have the sound right in your ears. With Solfa notation, it is a universal language. It means that either I'm black, or I'm Asian, or I'm white, Solfa notation cuts across. That is why it is possible for someone like me to pick a song that probably is not from my culture. Once I say the Solfa notation on it, I'm able to play it because I am able to connect with the sound and I'm able to transcribe what I'm hearing into something I can play. So it cuts across. So wherever you find yourself, once you know Solfa notation, you can easily blend with the musicians in there. You don't have to necessarily say that, oh, I don't know the song. Once you have good knowledge of Solfa notation, you can connect and it will be like, oh, you've been rehearsing with them all along. it is a very fantastic skill to have. Now you know how each system works. If you ask me, if you want to train your ears with the sound, you go for Solfa notation. But if all that you do is sheet music, you can stick with letter-based notation system. And if you're just somewhere in between, you just want to play keyboard, you're probably not interested in training your ears, well, number notation system will work for you. But my recommendation is to have the knowledge of all the three and have very good knowledge of Solfa notation. I hope this video helps you. Share it with someone who is going to be interested in it as well. See you in the next video.